Alright, so hello and welcome everyone to today's gameplay stream. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this lovely Tuesday, March 3rd. March 3rd. Today's not March 3rd. Tuesday, March 8th, 2016. Of course, I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you to the pre-stream here. I got a little bit to talk about and get off my chest. Undoubtedly, people will want to watch the pre-stream now because I'm going to talk about the current thing going on in gaming that apparently I'm getting shit for. And, I might even eventually make a vlog about this. I don't know. I'll think about it. But I do want to talk about it right now to get off my chest. But before we get to that, Zelda Twilight Princess HD. That will be today's gameplay stream. So let me explain to you how it's going to work so that you are not confused or disgusted or confused. I'm going to be playing Zelda right now for about 3.5 hours of gameplay. I will also be playing Zelda later tonight. I don't know how much I'll be playing later tonight. I'm going to aim for around 2 more hours. Because the bottom line is, I've heard that Twilight Princess is quite the long game. Excuse me, I'm once again drinking a seltzer, so you'll probably hear me burping. I apologize, I am a human. So yeah, I heard that Zelda is quite the long game. Right now, I'm about 12 hours into it. And I figure if I can get maybe another 5 solid hours today, that would be great. I'm also going to be playing Zelda again this Thursday, and I'm going to be doing kind of the same thing. Attempting to possibly get around another 5 hours of gameplay out of Thursday. And then Zelda's going to be the game that I'm going to be playing alongside the new releases as I alternate between them and as stuff goes on for the rest of the month. Keep in mind, this month we've got Hitman coming out this Friday. We've got UFC 2 coming out next Tuesday. Pokken Tournament coming out on Friday the 18th. There's also strong rumors that there may be lots of stuff releasing at the end of the month that originally no one expected. For example, apparently there may be the very first Fallout 4 DLC. This is going to keep happening, by the way. The menu is going to keep doing that on the screen, so sorry if it distracts you. It's going to keep doing that. This is what happens with the Wii U, is the controllers turn themselves off if you don't touch the button, and there's no way to turn off that setting. I looked into it. You can't. Just another oversight of the Wii U console. But anyway, yeah, apparently the first Fallout 4 DLC may be releasing this month, and if it is, obviously I'm going to be all over that. I loved Fallout 4, my game of the year of last year. Very much looking forward to playing all of the DLCs for that. And I will definitely be checking that out. In addition, strong chance that the first DLC character for Street Fighter V will be released, Alex. And if he is released, I will be checking him out, as well as any other modes that are released in Street Fighter V before the end of the month. In addition to that, there's a strong rumor that there may be some other stuff. I'm not going to really get too much into it on the pre-stream here, but if anything comes up that seems to be interesting or something that you know I want to check out, I'll be playing it by the end of the month. In addition to all of that, I'm going to be starting my Patron's Choice playthrough the next to last week of March, which right now Persona 3 is in the lead, but if I'm to understand, it's actually, what do you call it? Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright is like hot on its heels, which is kind of weird. But I mean, ultimately, I don't know what's going to win. I'm going to play whatever wins the poll. But I'm going to start that near the end of March. And then at the end of March, we've got the marathon, which is going to be either Conker's Bad Fur Day HD Conclusion, or Crash Bandicoot 3, or Banjo-Kazooie HD. And now someone in the stream chat just said, Minecraft Story Mode's final episode may be coming out this month too. Holy shit. See what I mean? This is what happens. It actually looks to me like the second half of the month was going to be slower. And now look at all this stuff. This happens now in gaming because gaming is so hot. Gaming is so popular. Everything in gaming is just like, you know, white hot. Everyone's into gaming, so many games now. So different from when I started doing this on YouTube years ago. It used to be maybe there's 1 to 2, maybe 3 releases a month that are worth covering, and I would stretch those out over the course of the month, and now it's like there's so much, there's no way I could cover it all. Huh. Pretty crazy. So anyway, yeah, I'll be playing Zelda today all day, Thursday all day, probably on the weekend I'll be playing it at least one time, if not twice. And then Zelda will be the game that I balance with other stuff to break it up so I'm not just playing the same thing over and over and over for the rest of the month, alright? My goal here obviously, is to beat this game, hopefully by the end of the month, being that people are saying it's 37 hours long. I mean, I'm not going to be doing a completionist run where I'm trying to get every item or whatever. That would be insane. But I'm certainly going to attempt to, get as much enjoyment as I can out of the game. I do enjoy looking around for heart pieces and such, going into optional rooms and caves. And I heard there's a ton of dungeons and stuff coming up. So we'll see. We shall see what happens with that, okay? So, that's the deal with Zelda. All day today, all day Thursday, sometime on the weekend, and it will be played as the balanced game for the rest of the month. So, FYI, for those of you who are enjoying this Zelda playthrough, you're going to get a ton of it this week. You're not going to have it full-time all the time, but it is going to be a game that I continue to play and enjoy, okay? Now, to address the thing that's on my mind that I want to get out of the way, I'm going to talk about it for maybe around 10 minutes here, and then we're going to get started. Today's big new release that everyone is hyped and talking about is The Division. Tom Clancy's The Division from Ubisoft, right? And everyone's talking, everyone's streaming it, everyone's playing it today, and I'm not, as you can see. And that's okay. You know, I don't have to cover every new release in particular, especially if it's a game that I'm not finding to be something that would interest me in particular. All right? And let's face it, past few years, these team-based style shooter games really don't seem to be very entertaining. Number one, to me, and number two, to my viewing audience. They just don't. You know, I've tried a few of them out. There was the one that was, that I played with the Arid Lord a few years ago. That one really was just fucking a grind and boring as shit. We had Destiny a few years ago. That was incredibly repetitive. It really just felt like Halo and almost an MMO-style first-person shooter. Didn't really like that one too much. And hell, even when I do cooperative-style gameplay and stuff that is kind of interesting or popular, like Call of Duty. I played the first 2 zombie maps for Call of Duty. Even that really didn't catch on with a viewing audience. People really like it more when I play, number one, either games that I'm like super enjoying, and you could tell, or number two, when I'm doing maybe more a narrative-based game. And there are exceptions to that. People like my fighting game coverage and or combat style games like UFC. When I played it a couple years ago, people really liked it, which is why I'm going to be playing the sequel. You know, there's obviously going to be exceptions to that. But in general, I've noticed from my own patterns of my viewing audience that they don't particularly like me playing a game like The Division. Okay? And that's okay. And so, combined with the fact that I've been following The Division since, 2013 at E3 when it was announced, and I've been paying attention to this game for a long time, and I've been looking at footage, and I've been seeing trailers and all this, and I've been polling for the past month, no lie, for the past month, I've been asking everyone, should I play this game? Should I not play this game? What do you think? And in general, the consensus of replies that I've received was, The Division is a game that if you have a group of friends and you're going to be playing it like regularly and you want to jump in and have cooperative fun, it seems like it could be a lot of fun, a la Destiny. But if you're going to be playing it solo, or you're only going to be playing it for a limited amount of time because you don't have a lot of time, in my case, no, I can't play The Division for the next 4 months. I can, you see how I cover games. I have a lot of games to get to. I have a lot of stuff I want to play. And I'm not going to be sitting here, continuously playing The Division. If anything, the game that I'm going to be going back to periodically is Street Fighter V. That's more my forte. So, it seems to me that this is not a game that is going to, number one, fit in with a game that I would like, and number two, that my viewing audience would like in particular. So, I'm okay with that, but all I've heard for the past 2 days, why aren't you playing The Division? You should play The Division. You're known for playing new games on release date. Why aren't you doing this? And you know what? It bothers me, and the reason it bothers me is because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If I had played The Division, all I would have heard is, this game's boring, why are you playing this? There's other better games, and instead you're just playing this for views because it's new, it's hyped on release day, and you should not play every new release. You should skip the new releases that are boring or don't fit towards your commentary, your gameplay style. Why are you playing this game? So either way, I'm going to get the same thing, right? There's no way for me to make out in this situation. I'm still going to lose. No matter what I do, I lose. Okay? So if I'm going to lose no matter what, the way I see it, I at least want to enjoy what I'm doing. So I'm going to play Zelda, because I've been really loving this game the past few days. I actually really enjoyed this Zelda. I think it's quite well put together. Yes, there's backtracking, but I'm finding ways around it to make it fun, you know? And I'm having a lot of fun. I am. I like this game. I'm really liking this game, okay? So, last night, The Division launched. Did not work for about 2 hours, but Ubisoft fixed the servers, apparently, and the game works fine now. And I am very happy to hear that, because when you have these online-based games where you cannot play them without the online connectivity working, it's very frustrating, and I certainly can understand, being that Street Fighter V launched, 3 weeks ago, and I sat there for an entire day trying to play the game and couldn't do anything. I mean, it's a joke. And at least I could say this, at least for The Division, one strong point it has is that it only was messed up for around 2 hours and they fixed it. Versus, you know, Street Fighter, still it's hard to get a match for a lot of people. So that's definitely a big positive in their direction, okay? So, you know, I wake up this morning and I'm seeing all these tweets about why aren't I playing The Division? Why did you skip The Division? Yada, yada. And I'm like, good lord. You know, I knew this was coming, but it is what it is, right? And I made a very factual observation on Twitter. I said, maybe people will start to realize that it seems like these team-based shooters are a fad. You know? It seems like these marketing teams are getting behind these games. They market the living shit out of them. Team-based shooter, team-based shooter, team-based shooter. People run out and buy them, and in a lot of cases, they get buyer's remorse, or they play it for a certain amount of time, and they praise the living crap out of the game, and then, you know, in the future, they realize maybe that game wasn't as good as everyone kind of said it was, or, you know, that I was led to believe, and maybe I was just playing it like crazy because of the hype, and it being the new team-based shooter out there, right? Let's just take a look. Destiny, at launch, insanely hyped. Right? Insanely hyped. Everyone kissing this game's ass, saying it's the best game ever. I fucking destroyed it in my review, calling it out for what it is. It was Halo in an MMO universe. It was very unoriginal. It lifted stuff from other franchises. It had nothing original whatsoever about it, and it was fucking boring. A lot of people gave me shit for that, but I think, all in all, people enjoyed my honesty. All right? Now, here we are, 2 years later, and most people admit that the original version of Destiny sucked. That it was boring, it was a grind, there was no actual fun content until you got to the end game, which required like 50 hours of fucking grinding. And I don't know about you, but I don't have 50 hours of my life to waste to get to something good. If the core gameplay is not good of a game, then don't play it. And that's what I felt about Destiny, right? Now, of course, they've expanded upon it. Now they got the Taken King and all that, and everyone says it's much better. Okay, great. But that's today. That's today. That's not at launch, right? So, I said, isn't it a fad that all these team-based shooters come out, they're marketed crazily, and at launch they're kind of maybe they get better over time, but it's a fad. It really is. And I think back to these first-person shooters about 5 years ago, right? Call of Duty was so fucking huge. It was like one of the biggest, if not the biggest release every year. Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. And then all these other companies tried to copy them. Do you remember there was this span of about 2 years where almost every game I played was a first-person shooter? Because that's all that was coming out, right? Just think about how many, there were a few years there, all various different first-person shooters that kept coming out. Because they were all in this bandwagon. And that's kind of what's happening right now with these team-based shooters. So, just a perfect example, today we've got The Division. Everyone will be talking about The Division for the next week. It's all you'll hear about, until, of course, the next new game comes out and overshadows it. But it's all you'll hear about, The Division, The Division, The Division, The Division. Oh, but by the way, in May, we've got a new one coming out. It's called Overwatch. Now, it's a little different. You know, the Division is more like team-based shooting. A lot of people have been comparing The Division to, say, Payday in a lot of ways when it comes to the multiplayer. Overwatch is coming out in May. This is a game from Blizzard Entertainment. As you know, Blizzard is a game company that when they put out games, even if the games aren't necessarily as good, Like, for example, Diablo 3 I felt was very inferior to the first two Diablos, but in general, everything Blizzard puts out is pretty good. And gets super duper hyped, and gets tons of money behind it, and generally becomes a sales dynamo. No matter what game it is, it makes a ton of money. I certainly believe this is going to happen with Overwatch coming out in May. Now, the multiplayer of Overwatch seems like it's going to be more like Team Fortress 2 than anything else. So it's not going to be anything like maybe an MMO style. It's going to be a little different. I guarantee you, come May, when the marketing hits, boom, Overwatch, 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 millions of dollars put into the ad campaign for Overwatch. Half the people playing The Division will stop playing it and will immediately start playing Overwatch because it's the new team-based shooter. And it's going to be hyped, and everyone's going to want to jump on top of it, right? Now, I'm going to be honest with everyone. I would very much more prefer to play a game like Overwatch than a game like The Division because I like Team Fortress 2. Like, I really like that game. I played a shit of it. I played a shitload of it in the mid-2000s. I had it both on PC, and then later on I bought the orange box for Xbox 360, and I played the game on both. I really liked it. And a lot of people are actually saying this could be the modern Team Fortress 2. If that's the case, I'm all for it. And I'm actually very interested in Overwatch just because of that statement. I actually want to play it more. Way more than I would be interested in The Division. So you may see me actually playing the beta. I know there's supposed to be a beta for the Overwatch open beta in early May. And I don't know exactly when the final release is, but I'm excited for this game. And I very much want to play it. But this is what I mean. How many people don't even see that fact that it's you know, all this team-based shooter, super hyped, I gotta play it. And that's what's gonna happen. People will drop The Division. You'll see the user base for The Division will plummet in May, and everyone will be playing Overwatch, or whenever, let me put it this way. Whenever Overwatch actually officially is fully released, boom. You'll see the people dump out of the Division. Now, the one thing that I just want to finish with, I just say all this stuff about how, you know, the team-based shooters are a fad or whatever. Someone actually had the audacity to tweet me today and say that when I may say a fact like team-based shooters are a fad, the new fad, just like FPS games were, they said you don't have to be condescending. Condescending. So I made a statement on Twitter, a factual statement, an observation of fact. You know, first-person shooters were hot for a while. Everyone played them because they were the hyped games. They died out. Now we've got team-based shooters. Right? That's the new thing that gets hyped, and everyone runs in and buys them. I'm condescending for saying this on Twitter, for stating a fact. Facts are not condescending. Facts cannot be condescending. If I say the sky is blue right now, and you find that condescending, that's on you. Because what it means is that inside yourself, when you heard that factual statement, something clicked. There was a moment of self-awareness where somewhere inside of you, you realize that something you're doing or something you believe may not be correct. So if you, your entire life, just walk around saying the sky is red, and someone looks at this blue sky and says the sky is blue, and you think that's a condescending statement, that's on you. So if you ran out, you bought The Division. Oh, The Division, so hyped. It's going to be the best game ever. I got to play The Division, The Division. You run out, you buy it, you're playing it. Wow, I'm playing The Division on launch day. I'm crazy. I'm part of this cultural phenomenon of gaming because I'm playing the game on launch day. It's so hyped. It's so good. Oh, my God. And someone says to you on Twitter, well, team-based shooters are a fad, just like first-person shooters were a few years ago. And, you know, people play it on launch day because of hype. And inside of you, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, someone would say that what I'm doing right now is a fad? That's so condescending. No, that's because you had a moment of self-awareness of what you're doing. I'm not trying to be condescending to anyone. I'm trying to spread awareness that maybe you shouldn't buy into a PR team or a marketing team's hype. That maybe not every game that gets $1 million advertising budget and runs ads on major television shows is a good game. I mean, Destiny alone sold because of advertisement, not because the game was good. And everyone bought into it, and everyone bought it, and Bungie made a bajillion fucking dollars on an inferior piece of shit game that was only made better, later on in its lifespan. So it's pretty ridiculous. I really did. It's really ridiculous that I could say things on Twitter. I'm making a factual observation. based on things happening around me. You're condescending. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Really? You're going to be that fucking sensitive that because I make a factual observation on Twitter, you're going to be all butthurt about it? Like, are you really? That's insane. So, please understand. I'm going to play what I like. Right? I'm going to play what I'm enjoying the most. This week, I am breaking the mold. I'm not playing The Division because it doesn't interest me. I've asked bajillions of people, and all the responses have been, don't play The Division. It's going to be boring, just like Destiny was for your viewing audience. Play something you're enjoying. Even if it's a more niche game, at least the people who like that will be enjoying it, rather than you just cashing in on day one views and then no one watches after the first day. Right? So, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to continue to spread awareness. This is why I really feel, this is why I think that people misunderstand me and or get pissed off, because I will make these kind of observations, and I'm the one guy who'll speak out about it and not pussyfoot around it and not sugarcoat it. So now you feel I'm condescending. Well, sorry, I'm the one guy who pointed it out. Sorry that you had a moment of self-awareness based off of something that I said, and now all of a sudden you feel guilty, or you have buyer's remorse, or you realize that maybe what you're doing isn't exactly the best thing possible. But that's not on me. You know, sometimes people say the truth hurts, the harsh truth. Maybe you should sometimes don't say the truth. I do not believe that at all. I want to hear the truth. I want to hear, me as a person, I always want to hear the truth. Rather than a sugar-coated lie or some kind of marketing BS, I want to know the truth about something. That's at least me. That's how I've always been. And that's why when I want to say something like these team-based shooters are a fad, and I say it, people get offended. Well, that's on you. Just me because I have a statement to make on Twitter. It certainly doesn't mean that I'm trying to offend anyone. It's just the contrary. I'm trying to help people. Take the veil off of your head and you stop seeing through this freaking tunnel vision of marketing and realize that, not everything is as people tell you it is. So, Zelda, right now, ladies and gents. And hopefully you'll enjoy it. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I love the game. And I certainly am looking forward to playing it more. Tomorrow we'll be playing Hearthstone. A lot different. Something completely outside the box. I'm trying outside of my comfort zone. And I certainly cannot wait to try it. So that's going to be fun. And later this week we've got Hitman. So we got lots of variety this week, even though I'm skipping the big new release for the week, right? I'm still going to be having fun and playing a variety of games. And hopefully, if you aren't into The Division, right? Or maybe you yourself are playing The Division, and you want to see someone do something different because you're already playing it. You don't want to watch someone else play the same game you're playing at the same time. Come on by all week. All right? Oh, excuse me. Ooh. So, got that off my chest. And hopefully I didn't massively offend tons of people. Of course, you can't help that, right? People will be offended at whatever they're going to be offended at, and people will spin it and say that I was condescending and evil, when in reality, if you actually listen to this pre-stream, you'll realize I wasn't. I was just being real and honest and trying to get something off my chest. But undoubtedly, people will take it the wrong way, and I can't help that. But I'm certainly not going to pinch. This is the thing. I'm not going to pinch my mouth and not say stuff, because that's the thing. That's what YouTubers do, right? Oh, well, I can't offend anyone, so I'm not going to say anything. Nope, that's not me. I'm the complete polar opposite. Always have been. All right, so real quick, 2 gratuitous plugs. You obviously know about my Patreon. If you enjoy what I'm doing, you like the fact that maybe I'll do things a little differently than everyone else, right? And I'm live streaming every day, and I'm putting up videos every day, and I do vlogging. And just this week, I'm probably going to put out 2 new videos on KO Gaming, including my thoughts on Hearthstone once I play it tomorrow, as well as I may be doing like a mini review / first impressions of Hitman after I play episode 1 on Friday, and or whenever I finish it. If you like this new formula, you support what I do, you want to see me continue to do it full time, please check out patreon.com/darksidephil and consider pledging. You get personal perks for pledging, as well as contributing to a monthly goal. I don't really have a monthly goal set up yet, but I'm getting to it. So within the next week or so, you'll know what that is. In addition, my girlfriend Leanna owns her own business called The Black Current, where she sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. You can find it at etsy.com/shop/The Black Current. And I hope that you will check it out and consider maybe purchasing something. She just adopted first class shipping in the United States, so it's a lot cheaper to buy something from her shop and have it shipped to you in the United States. In addition to that, she just launched her spring line of product, and she just celebrated a 1-year anniversary. She's had hundreds of sales and nothing but positive feedback, so check out her shop. All right, that is it, ladies and gents. Let's start with the Zelda gameplay. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. And let's begin, shall we? All righty then.